amazing, and we were just talking back at the door, and it's funny because, how many guys agree? It's when you get excited, other people are going to get excited, right? And she's already excited. She's like, I'm excited, and you don't even know what you don't know, right? So anyway, it's really fun to be a part of this and to really be able to be with all of you each and every week, because we talk about, it's one thing when you're watching on the video, but it's a whole nother thing when you're here live in person, right? Yeah. So it's a really great.
That's exactly. And something that we found out that people are doing in other areas, which is amazing, is they are holding their own leadership academy. So they're getting together in groups in different areas, whether it's Ohio. Is it Ohio? Ohio, Iowa. We're hearing it in Bemidji. They're doing it there. Just cool things where people are getting together, forming groups, and in these groups, they're having it in their home, and they are going through this leadership academy together. And so, what a great thing! I'm really excited about that. So, one thing we want to do is just establish, if you're new or if you haven't been to one of the leadership academies, one thing that we do here is we are a team. We do everything as a team, and so when one person claps, everybody claps. And when one person stands, everybody stands. Is that you don't ever want to leave anybody hanging. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it before, but one person claps and nobody else claps, this person's like, oh, they feel like a loser. Or one person stands, nobody else stands, like, oh. So we don't ever want to do that as a team. We want to support each other, so that's kind of an important part of the Leadership Academy for sure. And don't forget, if you want to make sure to leave a testimony back in our testimony booth, we are really excited about getting those. Tanya Holden has been so amazing at leading those up for us each and every week. So even if you've already done it and yet you have had something else that has really been powerful or exciting in your business and you wanted to share it, that you've gotten at the Leadership Academy, or something that you can able to pass on, right? Because remember, when we can give our testimonies away, other people can put them in their tool belts, and it can really truly bless and be a blessing to keep on giving for someone else's business. So make sure you do that. Visit the booth before you leave tonight if you haven't done it already. And so one thing that we do also here is that we believe in the power of our words, that what we speak creates the world around us. Would you guys agree? Yeah. And so we like to start with declarations, but we want to bring out two rock stars tonight, all the way from Orlando, Florida, to lead. And then you guys will repeat it, and then so it'll be Tanya will go once, and then Shane, and then Tanya, and then Shane. So we'll do it 2 times each. Okay, so 4 times total. So we'll follow Tanya first. But stand up. We won't sing them all. Okay, we're focused on our team, on our partners. So that's what our affirmations are about. Our partners are focused and have a bulldog tenacity.
Attract the right people and our partners win. Baby, what does this say? We attract the right people to partner in our business. We attract the right people to partner in our business.
Wow. We are organized and manage our team and our time efficiently.
We are organized and manage our team and our time efficiently. We train all of our partners the ABC pattern, and they are successful.
Yeah. We train all of our partners the ABC pattern, and they are successful. Good job, guys. Good job. Man, don't you love that? Listen, even our mess is a message, right? I mean, that was a great mess, but an awesome message, right? That we're turning, and think about it. Not only do you want to say that over yourself, but speaking life in your organization, over your people. That's so encouraging.
sold $50. Stay standing. Good job. 50. Okay, what about 60? Wait, what? Okay, well, the blonde is being so y'all go. I'm just saying. We're both blonde. 55 we're both blonde, so whatever. You too can be successful. So everybody sold one mobile, okay? So bam, you're both winners. So we're so excited, okay? So we are going to see that. Okay, so you get a multivitamin or vitamin B, and then you get a multivitamin.
Okay, so the way the Leadership Academy goes is we do a 5-minute profile of success, is what we call it. And these are for people that have established their business, they have realized success in the business, and they're going to share just a quick testimony of their journey. You know, why they got started, what did they do right, what did they do wrong, and where are they going in the future. So we're really excited about that tonight, and I will let you introduce our guest for that tonight.
Well, I really love this lady. Not only has she been a special part of our business, but she's a special part of my life because we kind of grew up together. So this is my cousin, and it's amazing because she is the most improved player on the team. And we tell you, we go all over the world and we talk about Amy, and David and Stacy call her Cousin Amy. But you know what? It's amazing how this business has impacted her life and the lives around her. I mean, just people who have known her and then known her in the business have been blown away. They're like, even my dad. I mean, it's so funny. It was just that Face Rodeo. My dad sits down, and my dad still has a flip phone. I think I told y'all this before. But my dad sits down, and my dad does not get excited for anything. Like, it's just, he doesn't. And so he sits down, and he whips out his flip phone. And I'm like, what are you doing? And on the flip phone was a picture of myself. It was Amy and Kayla. And that was a really huge deal because, you know, my dad is so proud of who she's become because literally this business has been like having a baby. You know, we go through the stretch marks and the growing pains and the morning sickness and but what you're able to birth, what you give birth to, you never want to give back. It's such a beautiful thing. And I've seen her give birth to great things, to greatness from the inside out. And so I can't wait for you to come up and tell your story of success. Y'all give it up for Amy.
Thank you, Brandy. So I've been in the business. July will actually be my 3rd birthday. And so, let me rewind 3 years. I worked for the state of Texas, and I was an investigator. So my job, really, for 10 years after finishing college, was not to believe people. Didn't believe anybody. Didn't trust anybody. I didn't want anybody near me because I didn't believe them. I saw the bad, the bad all day. So I got a promotion, and with the promotion, you go from hourly to salary, and everybody knows what that means, right? You work, instead of 60 hours a week, you're 70 to 90 probably, and that's what happened to me. So, me and Brandy had some time that went by that we weren't, incredibly close. Love her, she's my cousin, but you know how it happens, life happens. I was working all the time, didn't get to see her. Well, I kept looking at her Facebook, and she's traveling all over the planet, and I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, I am miserable. I love my job. I love helping people. That's what I've always loved to do. I've pretty much always done social services. And I had to find out where she lived, so I found out where she lived, kept stalking her house. She was never home. I finally got a hold of her, and I said, I don't know what you're doing, but, I have $600 in my checking account. I hope to God it's not more than that. Please just put whatever you're doing, I want to do it. And she's like, what? You need to see the plan first. I'm like, no, I don't. It's really literally, if you can do this, I know I can do this. And then about my 19th week, I lost my whole right side. I didn't understand. I said, oh my gosh. So this whole time I'm going to these meetings and I'm listening, and I thought I knew the better way, and I still at the same time didn't trust people. I was picking their stories apart right in front of them because that's what I was trained to do for years. So lost my whole right side, and this whole time Brandy's giving me these books, and I get in the car and I'm like, oh, she's so sweet, bless her heart, and I throw it on the thing because I'm like, I don't read. But thank you, Brandy, that's so nice of you. So inspired. I would go to both of my kids here today. Oh, it makes me cry. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. I would go to their sporting events and I would have my computer on my lap and I was working the whole time. And it just breaks my heart today. But don't look. So I said, I have to do something about this. So I'm looking at these books over in the corner and I'm like, damn, I know she's probably right. So I dug into those books and I read until I couldn't read anymore. Instead of scrolling on my Facebook or taking a lunch break, I was reading. I said, I am going to do this. I know I'm going to be successful at anything I do because I do have the bulldog tenacity. I knew it and I just knew it. But I was like, I got to trust people now. That sucks, you know. So I went to a meeting or a local and Shane Kringle was there. If any of y'all don't know him, you should. And I remember him saying you need to do a self-assessment of where you're at. And woo, cricket. When I did that, I was like, now I'm really a big bucket of suck. I was like, so I buried my head for another 4 weeks. I didn't want to talk to nobody. And I said, I don't know if I can change that much. And then one day I just woke up and I said, you know what? We're going to have to go back to the Brandy story. If she could do this, I could do this. So I started reading, and literally it changed my life. It really changed my life. And I remember him saying specifically, Shane, I remember him saying, you're going to be like the 5 people you hang around. And I'm like, I don't have 5 friends. I have like 3. And, I'm like, that was very difficult. If you don't have your friends that are raising you up and telling you how awesome you are every day, you don't need them. I found that out the very hard way. And you can have friends that aren't in the business as long as they tell you how awesome you are. It's cool. And it took me a long time to learn that. But looking back now, I see what that did for me. My team picked up. When I was first partnering people, thank God I lost half of them because I was just partnering anybody that would work. I really was. And so my next person I partnered is Wendy, and she's here today that started my whole right side again. And I love her to death. I think the world of her. And that's why I partnered her. So I'd say please be careful of who you're partnering and who you look up to because it can make you or break you. And I really, really believe that with all my heart. And I've met so many incredible people after I let those walls down into my life. And I look at my kids and I start crying. So, it's been amazing. And, listening to, if you haven't listened to every one of David and Stacy, I was like the biggest stalker. I listened to all their videos. I thought I knew them before I even knew them. And they're just so smart. I don't know how you can get that smart. Even after all the books, I don't know how you can get that smart. But that's my story, and now I'm loving every minute of what I do. I have some incredible friends. I volunteer my time now instead of somebody paying me for what I was doing. I still love helping, but I was not okay with that. But I just want to point out the same friends, that I had to leave behind were the same ones when I quit my job. May will be a year that I quit my job. The same ones that were going, you're nuts. And I said, well, we're going to have to think about this for a minute because everybody has a different definition of nuts. That could be car parts, that could be squirrel food, it could be body parts, it could be anything. But to me, nuts is going to the same job that you hate until you're 60 years old and spending 90 hours a week there and not getting to see your family. Which is why it's the same people I don't talk to anymore. So, with that being said, I love this amazing opportunity. It's amazing. It's so much more than money for me. Sure, I like to make money, but to me, it's been so much self-growth. Amazing. I love this company. Thank you.
We're a product brokerage company. What that means is we don't make anything, we identify market trends, things that are hot, and then we get a contract with the manufacturer to make that product for us. And we only deal in billion-dollar industries. We have thousands of designer products, and so sometimes as an unfranchised owner or a customer, it's really hard to know very much about all of the products. And so each week we try to cover a store so that we all have more information, so we're using the product but also able to share it with customers. So this next couple, they're fairly new in the business, and they are doing such an incredible job. They are really growing at a great pace and having great success. And so I'm excited to introduce them to come up and share about our auto store. So please help me welcome Troy and Amy.
There's a lot more you hear now when I'm standing up here than I was back there. The crowd kind of grew walking up here. Well, I just want to thank, we want to thank Brandy and Stacy for allowing us the opportunity to come and talk to you guys. It's one thing to come up here and teach somebody. It's another thing to lead people and just allowing people to come up and speak in front of a crowd. Because I know everybody here is getting ready to go and stand on stage either at a World Conference or International Convention, and this is what's helping us do that. So, what we're going to do, we're going to talk about the auto products, and there's two sides to this. One is the interior and exterior cleaning of your automobile, and the other is the actual functionality of the automobile, the gas and the oil. So we've got two different kind of, I guess, sides of this line that we're going to talk about. Before I do go on, though, I do want to mention that this is my wife, Amy, as they said, and we'll be married for 20 years, not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday. She didn't know I was going to say that, but I just want to embarrass her a little bit. It made me feel a little more comfortable here. Alright, so anyway, so we are going to talk about first the cleaning products that we have. They're environmentally safe, like almost all the products that Mark America makes. They're all clean and safe products. They're environmentally safe, biodegradable, non-toxic. They're plant-based ingredients, not derived from petroleum, and even the bottles have been from recycled plastic. The first thing we're going to talk about is the tire and wheel cleaner. This is something that we've actually used, and we're not people that take care of our car the way we should. Before we started looking at these products, we don't clean our car as often as we should, and we don't take care of the inside of our cars often as we should. But after looking at these products like this one we're about to show you, I've got some before and after pictures. It's really outstanding and how easy it is for these products to clean your car, and it doesn't take much time and little effort. Just to touch on what this product actually does, it surrounds and encapsulates the dirt, so it's something that when you spray it on, you're not smearing dirt around and trying to rub it off. It actually, it kind of cocoons the dirt, I guess, and so when you wipe it off, it just comes right off of the wheels, and it comes off of all different kind of wheels, whether it's alloy wheels or all different kind of chrome. It contains no acids. It's like I said, all Mark America products is gentle on all the surfaces you put it on. It takes all the brake dust, all the oil and grime from the streets that we run over every day. It takes all that off. Like I said, we don't clean our cars very often, so the pictures that we show, it's dirt and dust and oil that's been on there for a couple of months, so it's pretty cool. This is one of the testimonies that we found.
So this is a testimony from Billy in Greensboro, and it says, after years of using wheel and tire cleaners that never worked or spotted my wheels, I found a product that really works. AutoWork Tire and Wheel Cleaner does what all the others claim they can do. With little or no effort, AutoWorks cleans like no other product on the market. My wife doesn't wash her car regularly, like me. So when I get it, it's pretty dirty, especially her wheels from all the brake dust. I spray a little AutoWorks Tire and Wheel Cleaner on and wipe it off. That's it. Incredible product and a green product. So kids need chores. It is that easy. Give them a bottle, they'll spray it, wipe it off. So
So this is a picture of our wheel that I'm sitting. This is just a towel, a dry towel. I sprayed on the product I left it on there just for a couple of seconds. I didn't leave it there for very long. Left it there for a couple of seconds to dry towel and just wiped it. No hard elbow grease. Came off very easy. You can see on the left side is the before picture, and the right side is the after. And the next picture is the entire wheel before and after. So it's like I said, a couple of seconds, a couple of minutes, just wiping it off. That's it. No scrubbing, no abrasive brushes or anything like that.
If you go outside, 3 of our tires are still dirty.
That'll change. Alright, the next product is the exterior car wash. This is the product that we actually have not used. We do have a testimony about it, but we haven't had a chance to use it yet. Again, this is gentle in removing bugs. It doesn't harm any of the coatings for the paint. It doesn't harm the paint at all. It's highly concentrated, as the testimony that we have will tell you. It's just like kind of our snap products where you have a bottle and you use very little and it goes a long way. Won't damage clear coats, helps prevent scratches, naturally pH balanced, 100% plant derived, and no petroleum products are in this as well. Here's the testimony.
So this is from TC in Portland, and it says, I use less than an ounce with 2.5 gallons of water and clean 3 cars. My cousin has a black Elantra, and after just washing in the clouds, the sun came out and there were sparkling flecks in the paint. My cousin has had the car for over a year, and he has washed it many times and said he has never seen flecks in the paint before.
So the guy didn't even know what his car looked like. But like you see, he only used an ounce, 2.5 gallons of water, and cleaned 3 cars. So it's highly concentrated. The next product is the interior cleaning spray. We did use this, so we do have some before and after pictures of our actual car. But a little bit about this product. It's designed specifically for dashboards, door handles, and cup holders. So if you spill things inside your cup holders and things, you can get that out pretty easy. It's safe to use in all interior surfaces, including vinyl, most fabrics, plastics, carpet, leather, and wood trim. It dries in minutes, and it does. And it's something that whenever you put on your dashboard, it's different than other products that I've used in the past, where when you put it on your steering wheel, you get that slippery and you can hardly hold on your steering wheel. This is not like that. It dries very quickly, and it's almost the same feel as your steering wheel was before, but it's just shiny and clean. It won't remove any of the natural sheen from any fine finishes, removes the dirt and grime, and it protects against the UV damages.
So this is from Eddie in Greensboro. It says, I'm a Starbucks junkie. I think he needs some mocha tonic, personally. Unfortunately, I'm also a speed demon, so every time I take a turn too fast or go over a speed bump, splash. And there's coffee all over my cup holder, door handle, and dashboard. I love the Automotive interior cleaning spray because it's easy to use and works fast. It breaks down the coffee immediately, and all I have to do is wipe it off. I also love that it doesn't have a strong fragrance. I love my new car smell, and I don't want anything too perfumey to cover it up.
This is our dashboard. The top is before, the bottom is after. I think there's like maybe some mosquito guts. Amy likes to hit the mosquitoes on the dashboard or something. I don't know what's on there, but it got it off, whatever it was. But it's nice, and you can't tell from the photo, but it's actually almost got a shine to it. It's pretty nice.
I like to chase
This is our steering column. Again, the chemicals just attach itself to the dust there. Just wipe it off. Again, it's the same thing as the wheel stuff. You don't have to scrub it with anything. It just wipes right off. The next product is the shimmering polish. Now, we did not use this product, but we do have, again, some testimony on that from Mike Alberts. Actually, we have a couple pictures of his Jeep that will show that's pretty cool. A little bit about this product. It's got brighteners to maximize the paint's brilliance. You just spray it on. Again, all these products are easy to use. You spray it on, you wipe it off, no buffing. It shines, protects, streak-free, no white residue, resists environmental debris, protects against UV rays. Again, all these products are fantastic against protecting the elements that we run into every day.
So this testimony is from Missy, so a girl testimony, so we'll see what she says. So it says, when Market America came out with the AutoWorks line of products, I was excited because I know the quality of our products is second to none. All of our products. So I grabbed the product that piqued my interest the most and spent some time with my precious, shining her up. That AutoWorks shimmering polish is awesome. Not only did it perk up her shine, it works great on the windshield to deflect dirt and water. Now it's even easier to make my Mini look as good as she drives.
This is a picture of Mike's Jeep, and you can't really tell on the slide the shine on it, but in this one, if you look real close, you can actually see it looks like a mirror because you can see the motorcycle on its door. It's so shiny, so it gives that mirror finish. You can see the bottles that are reflecting in the side of the Jeep as well. It's pretty incredible the finish that it leaves. So that is our cleaning products for automobiles. We'll move on to the friction-free 3000. Now we're about to move into the products that actually keep your car running. These are the products that Amy and I really, when we started to study these products, really care about, because we care about getting from A to B. That's a big deal for us. Sorry, my bad. I am still a little bit hurt stuff. But anyway, so the cleaning of the vehicles, that's great and all, but this is what's really important to us.
So we have become a throwaway culture, and what I mean by that is that during our grandparents' time, if things broke, they would spend time and money to repair things that God has blessed us with. So we need to get back to that mentality. So it's very important to me that things work and that it keeps my family safe, and it gets, like Troy said, it gets my family from point A to point B. And like most families, if you're on a budget, then this helps you spend a little bit of money up front with the repair and maintenance stuff. That way, when something breaks or when life gets messy, you're not just going and trading in your car or just getting rid of it. You're actually spending time taking care of your things. Just like we take isoponics, you take care of your body. So this helps us take care of the inside of our vehicles.
Preventative maintenance, yes. We had the opportunity at World Conference to talk to Shane. He was at the booth talking about friction-free and the fuel additives. He was in the automotive chemical industry for about 15 years. He was a skeptic when the company first came to him to try and look at the product. They actually chased him for a while. And if I'm not mistaken, one of the videos we saw said when he finally tried the product, did his research, and went through all the process and had other companies look at it, he actually ended up buying the company. So we talked to him a little bit about the products, and he was really a cool guy. I'm assuming he's going to be at an international convention. If you get a chance to go talk to him, if this interests you at all, or if you want to use it in your vehicles, I suggest you guys do. But go talk to him. He'll talk all day about it. I think he talked to 3 people, said the same exact thing in the 20 minutes they were standing there. So it was really good. Yeah, everybody was videoing, so it was pretty cool. But anyway, this is friction-free 3000, and it is an additive, a treatment for our engine oil. It helps increase gas miles, reduce engine wear, prolongs the engine life. It helps prolong the engine oil, which helps performance in the engine, and the exhaust and emissions that we have to run tests on our vehicles to get tags for and all that good stuff. It helps with that as well. What is it? It's an engine additive, like I said. It's something that you add to your oil. It's not something that you use instead of oil. You add it to your oil. It enhances the performance of the engine oil. There's 2 patents that we have on this particular product. The benefits is it improves engine oil performance so it doesn't break down as quickly. And also it increases the life of the oil. We all know, I know we don't always go and run and change our oil as soon as that light pops on. It might be a couple 100 miles, 500 miles, maybe even 1,000 miles before we do. This helps prolong the life of your oil so there's not as much damage being done to your engine. Alright, so how is this different from other products out there? Because there are other products out there that are engine oil additives. So how is it different? Well, our product actually helps restore your engine rather than other products. When you put it in your engine, all they do is they try to lubricate it a little bit more, so the pistons and all the mechanical parts in there, they move a lot faster and easier. Our product actually helps, and we'll show this in a minute, helps restore your engine and helps, I don't want to say rebuild it, but helps with all the wear and tear, helps to fill in the scratches and dents and dings that happens inside the engine. Alright, so how does it work? So this is pretty cool. And I don't know, I would be a skeptic too if I was Shane whenever he was chased with these things, because they said there's little microscopic BBs, soft metals that are actually in this oil additive. So we're actually putting metal in your engine, which you think about it and you think, that doesn't make sense that you're putting metal inside. But what happens is, with the heat and the pressure in those metals, there's little scratches that are inside your vehicle. And what happens is those metals actually fill in those scratches and dents. They also absorb the heat, and that's how it helps with the engine oil and how hot it gets, and it breaks it down, so it helps absorb that heat. So it helps it out a little bit. And we're going to demonstrate that a little bit. This is a piston, which I'll explain in just a second, but we're going to do a little demonstration, and it's an audience participation thing, so everybody's got to do it, but you can stay sitting in your seat. So what I want you to do is, if you remember Karate Kid and Mr. Miyagi, and Karate Kid got hurt, and Mr. Miyagi's about to heal him. So he put his hands together, so everybody put your hands together, rub them together really fast, and you feel that heat. That's what your engine's going through when this piston's going in and out of that cylinder. So everybody stop doing that. So that's what happens whenever we don't use our product. So what happens when we do use? What happens when we do use our product? Getting ahead of me. So what happens when we do use our product? So go ahead and take a pen or a pencil, something that rolls, put it in between your hands, and now roll. That's what our product does with those little bitty BBs. Those little pieces of metal that are in there, it makes it where that metal that's in there is soft metal, so it makes it where the hard metals are not hitting each other. So if you don't have that pin and you keep rubbing your hands together and you feel that heat, and if your muscles will allow it, you start tearing your skin off. Well, that's what happens when this piston goes up and down inside the cylinder. It starts to rub against the metals, and it starts to scratch the metal. It starts putting imperfection in the metal. That red part up there, that's compression. That helps your motor go, or your car go. So what happens when you get those scratches on the side of those cylinders, the compression comes out through the sides, and then it comes out your tailpipe, and harmful emissions is what happens. Also, you lose performance, horsepower in your car. So what our product does, those little metals, those little pieces of metals with the heat and the pressure, actually go into those scratches, fix your vehicle so you don't lose that horsepower and you don't lose all those emissions that come out that make you fail your emissions test.
Wow.
So how do we know it works? Well, this is pretty cool. We know it works because we can test it. We can test our car before we put the additive in. We can test it afterwards. And there's different tests they run. There's friction test, heat reduction test, compression test. There's what they call a dynamometer test, where they can test horsepower. They put your vehicle on a machine, they hit the gas, it runs these rollers really fast, they test the horsepower. And there's emissions test. So what we do is we test the vehicle before we put it in. We put the additive in, we test it when we have the additive in there, so we can tell that this is actually working. This isn't just me or Shane or somebody just saying, hey, this product works. We can test it, and we have proof that it does work. And if you want to, you can go in your back office. We took some of the slides out there so we don't get too technical and detailed with all the numbers and everything. But if you want to, you can go in your back office. You can actually get this particular PowerPoint, and it's got a breakdown of all the different numbers and things. And we're actually going to post some other information on the Leadership Academy if you want to have more information about it. Alright, so how do you use it? You should use this every time you change your oil. If you are not going to change your oil, so say you aren't going to change your oil for another 3,000 miles, and you want to use this product today, you go out and you start your car, let it warm up. If it's 115 degrees, it's going to warm up a lot quicker than if it's 10 degrees. So just let it warm up to its regular operating temperature. Then you're gonna shut off your motor. You're gonna go and pop your hood. This actually goes in your engine. So I know there's guys and girls out there that might not know everything about vehicles. That's fine. This actually goes into your engine, not into your gas. We'll show you that in a minute. But this one goes into your engine. So you open up the cap on your motor. You pour that in, and you'll make sure you shake it up. Make sure you shake it up first. You pour it in. Then you're gonna start your motor again, because you want that to mix in. So if you are at the, you go get your oil changed, you get that in there, you can just drive home, and that's good enough for it to mix in. If you're outside at your house and you just put it in, let it sit in your driveway for a couple minutes, and it'll be okay.
If you're a female and you don't want to put it in your car, when you go to Jiffy Lube, just give it to the guy and say, can you please put a half a bottle. I have a small car, so put a half a bottle in for me whenever you put my new oil in, and they'll do it for you, and then they'll give you your bottle back. So.
Yeah, that brings me to half a bottle for 4 cylinders, and it's a full bottle for 6 or 8 cylinders. Alright, so the benefits help prevent dry start. So dry start, if you go out and you start your car right now after it's been sitting for a while, the oil kind of drops down to the bottom, and you start it up so there's more metal hitting on metal. So it helps with dry start, helps with cold starts, reduces oil consumption. So oil consumption, like I said, your oil breaks down over time, and the longer you have it in and don't get oil changes, the more it breaks down. So that's what it means by oil consumption. So it helps that, prolongs the life of the oil, like we talked about. Normal compression, like we talked about, that pressure that's up there, it's not getting that blowback, so the emissions blows out your tailpipe. Helps decrease engine wear, helps increase engine life, reduces harmful exhaust emissions. Again, failing your tests. It's better engine performance and helps increase gas mileage. You can also use this product in equipment at your house, compressors, generators. Just make sure you use the correct amount, because you don't have as much oil in a generator as you would in your car. So just make sure you use the right amounts. You can kind of go through, like I said, in your back office and find out the exact amounts you need to use. Or you can watch the video later and pause it here and kind of write things down. But you can use it in all your lawnmowers and different things you have around the house as well. And that brings us to our fuel enhancers. So when you use these together, it's a really great combination to maximize the efficiency of your vehicle. Don't use them together as in mixing them together, but use them together in your automobile and it helps out.
So I was a soccer mom. These are my kids. So they're almost grown now, but as you can see, when they were growing up, we basically went from ball field to ball field, lots of hours traveling. We traveled all over Texas, road trips to Florida, Colorado. So I don't have to know like all the details on how things work. That's just not how I'm made. But I do care that they work. And I do care that they keep me and my family safe. And if I can save money at the same time, then that's an added bonus, right?
So the great thing about this product is it's really easy to use. Again, I mean, there's a theme going on here. All these products are easy to use. So it's really easy to use, and the great thing is it cleans the inside of your engine while you're driving. So all you do is drive and it cleans. It cleans every component in your engine that your gas touches. Again, your oil and your gas don't mix. So everything that your gas touches and goes through, it's cleaning, like your fuel injectors, your carburetor, intake valves, and ports, and different things that's going through. The benefits, it improves gas mileage, prolongs the life of your engine, boosts performance, and reduces overall oil consumption. Again, these two products work together in improving gas mileage and reducing the overall consumption of our oil. I talked to Mike Alberts, and he uses this product, and he gained 3 miles per gallon using this product. So that's just money in our pockets right there. It's a two-step system, so we talked about how it cleans, but it also breaks down the molecules of the fuel to add more oxygen. And what that does and why it's important is when you're driving around your vehicle right now and you're not using this product, you're only burning 75% of the gas that you put in your vehicle. And what happens to the rest of it? Emissions. Or it doesn't even come out of your vehicle, it gets stuck in there, it's gunk, it's on your fuel injectors or whatever it's in, and it's breaking things, and it's just not a good deal. So when you use this product, it breaks down the fuel molecules, adds oxygen so it can burn more of the fuel so it doesn't get stuck in your engine or shoot out the backside. So how to use it? It's real easy to use. I actually grabbed the bottle here. It's just got a little, we actually keep this inside of our center console, so we have it readily available every time we fill up. So
I
every
was
time,
shocked that I used it.
yeah, I was actually shocked whenever I was in the car and she actually told me she used it. But anyway, it's got little markers to tell you where the 1 ounce is. So you just use 1 ounce for every 17 gallons. It's got a little twist top. All I do is right when I pull up to the gas station, I just take this, I pour 1 ounce in to squeeze it, look to make sure it's at the right level, and then I pour my gas in. That way it just kind of mixes in. I don't really know if it needs to do that. It's just my personal preference, just to make sure it's all mixed up. But that's kind of what I do. But like I said, just 1 ounce for every 17 gallons that you use. Yes, it's safe, just like all the products we make. It's safe. It's non-toxic to internal organs. I would not suggest ingesting it, but that's what it says. It's non-flammable. And use as directed, not by mouth. Okay. Where else can it be used? Just like the oil, you can use it in your other equipment that you have around the house. Just make sure you mix it properly, because just like the isotonics, if we don't mix that with the right amount of water, it doesn't work properly. This is the same way. If you don't mix it correctly, your machines aren't going to work properly. So just make sure you mix it properly. It's easy to use. As for all gasoline and diesel engines. Helps increase fuel economy, helps reduce harmful emissions, helps restore lost engine power. And again, easy to use.
So one thing I would like to add is, just like your skincare products or isotonics, consistency is key. So if you only use it just whenever you feel like it or whenever you can remember, you're not going to see the difference as if you, just like your skincare, you use it all the time. So consistency is key.
Yeah, we actually saw a video on YouTube that a guy was giving a testimony, and he said the first bottle he saw a difference, but the second bottle was when he actually saw the biggest difference. Just using it over and over again. He had an older vehicle, so it cleaned his engine out through the first bottle, and it continued to do so through the second bottle, so it just helped his gas mileage more and more as he used it. So, and the last question is, when should you use this product? And it's every time you want to save money, you use this product.
So as Brandy says, cha-ching!
Did they do a great job? It's hard to speak as a couple. It takes a while to get used to going back and forth, and you guys did such a great job. Way to go. Great job. The next section I'm really excited about introducing is how to do events. These next 3 leadership academies are going to be about how to host and do events, and the first one is going to be how to do a shop and save. And I'm excited to have 2 just unbelievable shop and savers. And Emily, I've actually had her out to do a couple of these for me, and I've learned so much. And she's actually, the handout that you have today, she created that for us and for the Leadership Academy. So would you please help me welcome new Master Coordinator, Olson.
As we get started, it's amazing because events are the key truly to creating duplication in your business. If you really want to go fast, then you're going to get together with your group and you're going to put events on the books. And it's nice because, it's funny when Emily and I, when she called me, she's like, okay, I'm serious, I'm not kidding around. what do? I just said, okay, let's get in our date book, let's book some events. And the nice thing is that you don't have to do the same thing over and over and over. And like Stacy said, over the next couple weeks, we're going to teach you how to flow event to event to event. And as we do the big picture in Shop.com Market America, we're moving event to event to event. So what you want to do with your people is train them. Listen, let's do event to event to event. And so and literally massive growth, right, Emily? From taking this and really truly duplicating this within her team, within her group, and just with this event alone, being able to recruit tons of people. And I say tons, she's out of this event, well, tons of people. Yeah, it is a lot because we're not a recruiting business, right? You don't have to bring in a lot of people, so even 3 or 4 people is a lot, right? Because we get to picky and choosy. And so
it's actually 5. I added it up back there. I was like, wait, there was one more.
Yeah, so 5 people just from this event. Wow. Okay, so when we were talking about it, we were like, all right, so, and the thing is we can sit around and think about doing it, or we can take action and get it done, right? So tonight I'm going to show you the action, and maybe some of you guys are doing these events. I mean, but what's nice is watching Emily do this event, we're like, okay, Emily, she's a good teacher, and it's good that there are little things we can pick up on, and you should go watch other people do events because, I know Nikki and Michael are great at doing events and shop and save events. So whatever we can plug in and leverage each other, it's always the best way to go because then you're learning from her personality and their personality and our personality, and then you're being able to make it your own, okay? So we're going to talk about the Shop, Sip, and Save event.
Yeah, so it took something. Okay, so what I love about this business is that it is our job for those who have gone before you to help you and lend a hand and raise you up and say, hey, you don't have to do it this way, don't do it this way, do this way. Because this is more successful, this is what people get, this is what we do, okay? So then we teach you what we found successful, and then you duplicate that. It's only going up from there. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing that I love about this business. So when I first got started in this business, there's a lot to take in, right? Okay, you all guys, you can agree. So I knew the makeup, I knew the skincare, and I'm like, okay, how do we do this shopping annuity thing? This is like, way over my head. I'm usually like, okay, I go to Walmart or that sort of thing. And so Brandy, when I first sit down with her, she goes, you have to hit the SAVP. And I was like, oh, gosh, I knew you were going to say that. Right? But truly, we're already spending it anyway. And so if we can teach people how to shop on Shop, right, and get cash back for what they're already doing, then it just makes it that much better. And how much do we get of that? 100%, right? 100% of 100% is 100%, which is cha-ching.
Right? And truly being able to watch as you go and take these from event to event. You want to be the best at this, right? I mean, so we want to teach from the places that we want to lead, right? A leader can't lead where a leader hadn't gone. So if you don't know how to shop on your own shop.com, how are you going to teach somebody else? Right? It's a little intimidating. So this will be good for all of us tonight here to learn if maybe there's going to be something that you pick up on tonight that's even going to help you, make your shopping event a little bit easier too.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I found is that when I did like 3 or 4 events, and again, I was learning, I didn't know what to do, I didn't know how to do this thing and why we do it. So again, you pick up little things and nuggets along the way. I sat in on Nikki and Michael's events, I sat on a few other events, and so I started kind of gathering that, and I took what the best that I found to do, and I kind of tried to implicate that. Okay, so the first 3 events that I did, in my book, how I always do things, it's either 3 strikes or out, or 3rd time's a charm, right? So I always give it 3 chances. Now, the way that we were doing things, it was product, a lot of products. So when you advertise, okay, we're going to teach you how to shop and save, and then they show up with a lot of products, a lot of people are confused, they feel like they're being sold, and these are not my words, these are my customers' words, okay? So I asked them, I sat down with them, I said, look, I noticed that you're still going to Target, and but you can do all this, and they're like, well, I really don't know what that was, okay? And I'm like, well, then I failed, okay? So as a leader, I admit that, right? I admit that. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to sit down with you, and I'm going to explain to you a little bit better. So I did, and one of my partners, actually, her name's Sarah Andrews, and her mom is Shirley Andrews, and if you don't know them, you should. They're amazing people. And they are fantastic teachers. And so they really sat down and they created this, and they showed it to me. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're brilliant. You are stinking brilliant. Because what you're going to do is you're going to take the person who knows nothing. This is a new way of thinking. You have to retrain your brain. Okay, like JR says, you got to do brain surgery, right? To retrain your brain and your thinking and say, okay, I have to put this dollar through the system. Instead of it coming in and it going out, I have to put it through this system. I'm going to turn it into internet business volume or cash back or both, and then it can go out. Okay, but I'm getting something off of this.
Right, because already just explaining to people, the fact that we are the Anyway business, right? So when people come in at your events, you want to make sure that you are stocked up with home shopping list. You want to make sure when they come in that each and every one of them get a home shopping list and that they are filling that out, because along the way they're going to discover the things they're buying what? Anyway. And so as we begin this event, then we explain to them the process and the steps of, it's just like school, right? You're going to, be in grade school and you're going to progress, and there's benefits to that. And you're going to go on to college and, and continue to have opportunity to make more money in life. And that's one of the things that you're really good at, Emily, explaining to your, potential people sitting there as their guests and potential business partners on workingwithshop.com and how that works and what that looks like.
Right.
Tell them about that.
Yeah, so I made this outline for you guys like yesterday, so if there's some spelling issues, just have grace. Okay, so what we do is we make sure that each attendee has something to write with. Blank page, note paper, whatever. Because the adult brain retains more if they write it in their own handwriting. Does that make sense? Okay, so they're going to take notes. We're going to say, okay, I'm going to take you through this. We're going to pretend that you are in elementary school. You know absolutely nothing. You heard this might be fun, so you showed up. That's what we're all here. We're just here to have some fun, right? Okay, so when we get the event started, what we do is we hand out the shopping list, the carbon copy ones, and we say, okay, just go through this. If you use any of this, if you use it monthly, weekly, annually, it doesn't matter. Just go ahead and mark off what you normally use, okay? And then you're going to set it aside, okay? We have them put their email address on there, and then at the very end, we have them put a little star at the end if they're interested in making more money than what they just learned, okay? So then we know who to book the follow-up with, okay? Does that make sense? All right, so the intro, we have person one, they introduce the speaker. So if you are a partner even, you're going to act as that hostess. If you have a hostess, you're going to coach them on what to say, okay? And what that pretty much is just you're going to introduce the speaker, you're going to validate the speaker and their success in the business and their profession.
Right, so if I invited Emily to come present the shop and say, and it's my friend that she's going to be speaking to, I'm going to edify Emily. And I'm just going to say, I'm so glad you guys came today. Emily's amazing. She's a shop and annuity expert, where she's going to talk to us about that. Like, that's where we transfer our spending into earnings. She's helped me so much, and together we're able to collect on each other's earnings, and I can't wait for all you guys to learn. So y'all welcome up Emily. It's just short and sweet, but you're edifying. Make sure you do that. That's really, really important. And it's not like, it's truly because they don't know who she is, and it helps her feel comfortable, but it's also respectful of, the people that are going before you to help you create success in your business. So I've edified Emily, and now Emily, you get up.
Now I get up and I thank the hostess. I do my 2-minute commercial showing like what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. I reiterate that this is a product okay? And in an internet franchise, and we only deal in multi-billion-dollar markets. And e-commerce is a multi-billion-dollar market, okay? So this is what we do. We own everything, okay? We teach you how to shop on what you're already spending or already purchasing, and we teach you how to make money on that, okay? Simple enough? Yeah. Simple enough. Okay. And then I reiterate that wouldn't you agree that people are shifting from brick and mortar stores to click and order stores? So e-commerce, things are shutting down left and right, and they're seeing that in the news, 270 stores closing, this and that, and people are already seeing it. But once you make that connection, you're going to say, okay, this is what we're moving towards, and we're going to reiterate why they're here. They're going to learn to shop and save money on what they're already spending, to shop in a more convenient way so that saves time and money, which is a big deal for someone like me who's very busy, okay? We earn cash back on what we're already spending, and you can earn cash back on anybody you refer to this, okay?
And what's great too, Emily, is that at this point, you really want to engage with your audience. And anytime you're doing an event, you don't want to just be the person up there talking, you really want to involve your crowd. So basically what that would look like is you're asking questions like, who's shopping on Amazon right now? How many guys are going to shop? How many guys are going to shop forever? How many guys know people shopping on Amazon or other platforms? And if we could show you a way today, our biggest goal is to help you save as much money as you can, and it's free for everybody to do that, and we're going to show you how that works, right? So you're asking your people questions that are going to probe them to make sure they're going to want to pay attention, because free, when people hear free and that they're doing it anyway, they're going to pay attention to you, right? So you're going to involve the crowd. Always make sure you involve the crowd. That's why tickets, if you can use these tickets, the perforated tickets, you'll be seeing them next week too, but you always want to use as a motivator for people to stay awake, attention, alive, alert, enthusiastic, right? It just helps you make your job a lot more fun and easier, right? So, excited, yes.
Okay, so the next question that people generally ask, and I want you guys to kind of make notes on your little thing here, because that, again, it goes back to it really sinks in if you write it, right? Okay, so most people ask, how does that work? Well, there's this thing called, we talk about traditional advertising at that point. What is traditional advertising? And so then they'll be like, oh, well, commercials. Well, like, I haven't seen a commercial in a year, because why? Well, DVR, okay? So everybody's fast forwarding. So traditional marketing, magazines, newspapers, they're all obsolete. They're not working anymore. So companies had to get really creative in their advertising, and so there's this thing called affiliate advertising. So we talk about social media. So let's say that something like this is my example, this has actually happened to me. Before Christmas, I was looking for a pre-lit tree, okay? I went to Home Depot because I knew it was a partner store, but I didn't go through shopping, I was just looking. Well, then later that evening, I didn't buy. Later that evening, I was on Facebook or on social media, and that same pre-lit tree from Home Depot comes up in my newsfeed, okay? So, at that point, what we don't see, if I were to click on that, what you don't see is that Home Depot sends Facebook a check because I went through their site, okay? So those same millions of billions of dollars that they spend in advertising, they're now having to give that away to different ways of advertising. So this is where we get our cash back. This is where we get the affiliate marketing. And what makes a difference is that we're shopping on shop. We're able to capture a little bit of that for our pockets. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so then I reiterate that shopping on shop is the mall without walls. So if you think about it, shop.com is now your mall. Okay? So when you go to the mall, say you go to the Woodlands Mall, you go to the mall, and then through that mall, you go to Victoria's Secrets. Okay? So did you go to Victoria's Secrets? Yes. Did you go directly to Victoria's Secrets? No. You went to the mall. Does that make sense? So you went to, now with this is the mall without walls, just like JR says, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so going to the mall without walls, it would be like you're going to the Woodlands Mall, and then as soon as you go to Victoria's Secret, you make your purchase, it would be like someone standing at the door of Victoria's Secret saying, here's 2% cash back on the amount you just spent. Okay? Does that sound enticing?
Yeah.
Making money where you're already spending money, right? Okay, so keep that in mind. But with this mall, you also get a shopping assistant. You also get Shop Buddy. So I explained to them that you get a shopping assistant that scours the internet for anything that can possibly, any coupon codes, any deals or whatever, and it brings it to your attention right at that moment when you're about to check out. Okay? So now you have everything that's valid at that time that's going to save you more money. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's good. And that just really helps them understand. You're putting them in perspective to pay attention, to listen, and really they're like, wow, why wouldn't I do this? And a lot of times, you know, throughout the event, I'm like, how many of you guys would agree? Like, you're excited you're here tonight. You know, I'm forecasting what they need to be thinking.
Yeah.
You have to forecast what they're thinking because, you know what, that is how you bring about, you know, the excitement in the room when you forecast, you know, again, what they're already doing. Then they just literally line up with that. I don't know if that makes sense. It's just psychological, but it works, you guys. So you're always like, hey, aren't you glad you guys are here tonight? That you learned this, and now you don't even have to go to the mall. You can stay in your pajamas and sit right at your desk, you know. And I say things like that. You didn't have to waste gas, you know, although we can tell them, right, Tori, how they can save money on the gas, you know, even through that. But you're simply you're throwing nuggets out there. That's truth, right? That's truth. And then so they're going to also appreciate the fact that you're giving them the information because it saves them time. You know, it's really something that, you know, maybe you don't think about, and a lot of times we get nervous, but just have fun with it. Say, aren't you glad I came tonight? You know, this is amazing because now, instead of doing it the traditional way, we can show you what you're doing anyway and put more of this money back in your pocket and save your time. And time you can't pay for and get back. So
That's right.
Something you need to
So how many of you guys are doing shop.com events? Okay, how many of you guys need to know a little bit better about it before, are you scared? How many of you are scared to do it? Okay, so now I know who I'm talking to. I can look at you and teach you, right? Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna act as though you know nothing, okay? I think that you know nothing, okay? You're a blank slate, all right, in my book. You might know a little bit, but I'm just gonna act like it, okay? All right, so let's pretend that we're in elementary school, okay? We don't know much, but you're interested in coming and you're learning and you're gonna have some fun, okay? Same thing for your customers. Your customers have no idea what's going on, okay? And they don't wanna be hit with a bunch of stuff because that's what I found is that one customer said, you keep talking about this pie in the sky, that this is shop.com or whatever. She said, I feel like I got hit in the face with a pie and I don't know what to do with it. And I said, ouch. Right?
Yeah.
So, as a leader, I'm going to tell you what not to do. I'm going to tell you what to do. Okay? So, I'm going to treat you, my customer, the same way. I'm going to act as you know nothing, and I'm going to give it to you step by step and build on it. Does that make sense?
And that's where we have to remember that even though we're familiar with the lingo and the terms, they are not. And that's where we talk about don't get weird. When you start talking about BB and IBB, you're losing the people. You know, you got to make sure they don't understand, you know, mall without walls. That's why it's good to break it down like Emily taught you to do, to explain how they go to the mall. But then they go to Victoria's Secrets or to JCPenney's or to that store because they don't understand. We cannot assume people know what they don't know. Right? And then they leave there and they're confused, and yet you've done a great job, but yet you kind of didn't, right? Because you didn't really get the point across, right? So that's what we're saying. Just make sure that you understand. That's why it's good to say that we're breaking it down for you like this so that you can understand and think like a prospect, you know, not like the business owner.
That's right. So good. Awesome. Okay, so what I say, and I first reiterate that this is if you're going to register as a free customer. Free. It's free to do this, okay?
And Emily, I will tell you, the last couple events I've done, I've really thought of something brilliant because, you know, and I want to share it with you guys. When they come in, I have the person that's sitting at the sign-in desk, and everybody should be registered, even if it's a small thing. Everybody should be checking in at the sign-in desk, put their email, their phone number, right? And right away, the person that's checking them in makes a group text, and everybody at that event gets the group text right then, so that when you get to this point, then you're able to say, everybody check your phones. Did you get my group text? And then it's a straight, direct link to the person who brought them there to make sure that they are connected right away and it doesn't lose, people through, we just did an MPO and there was different people connected to different people, but what was great was they all got the same text, but they were connected to the person that brought them there that night. So it wasn't a big hassle when we got to the point where we were showing them that they could go right to their phone, hit the link, and then log in. It was perfectly done. So that's something that you might want to have a little as a takeaway, because then that saves you from having to do all this back and forth with the company, and then it's just correct right away.
Right, and so when you're having to do that, people really kind of lose their fire, when you're doing that. Okay, so then you're going to go to My Account, and you're going to show them just how to navigate the site. Okay, so go to My Account, and then you're going to do Shopping Trip. Okay, so here you can see your online shopping trips, and here you can see your cashback activity. Okay, when you click on that, it'll show you what your cashback activity is and all of that, and if it's been awarded or if it's pending, and I go through and I explain all of that to them. Because if something doesn't show up, and I also explain that what you're going to do is here, if it's pending, it's usually the return policy. If the return policy is not up yet, they won't give that cash back until that's over, okay? The next thing is that we're going to discuss the shop toolbar and the shop drop downs. Okay, so here's the toolbar here, and as you can see, they added shop local, and then here's the drop down. Those are the same exact things on the toolbar as it is the shop. Same thing. It's just whatever preference they want. And I kind of, reiterate that that little ticker there, that's how much cash back has been given, yada, yada, yada. All right, and then we're going to go to the Stores tab and search stores, categories, and search by the highest cashback. So I always direct them towards the stores, okay? And they can find the stores A to Z, okay? And then here I show, here's the cashback that you can get. And then someone always asks me, what's that IBV? I'm like, oh, well, that's just the points associated to everything. I mean, there's, like, everything in this room has an IBV point attachment to it. I said, but we're not here to teach you about that. We're here to teach you how to shop. And so that perks somebody's interest because they're like, I need to know, so what are you getting that IBV for? I'm like, well, that's just where we get paid on another end of it. I said, but that's not what we're here for. So then I go to the next thing, and I leave it at that. Now, when I do that, those people are super interested as to what is going on. Right? Okay?
And I just say, because like she says, I just say, oh, that's as a business owner, we're paid on that part, and so, but we're not here to teach you that.
Yeah.
And then they're like, what do you mean you're not here to teach me that? That's how she got 5 business partners, is because they came back to that question. So when we're not so hungry all the time to sell our business and all that, but we're educating, people want to partner with that. But when you're constantly like, let me tell you how to do it, you know what I mean? Then that's when you look like the pushy salesperson, right? That's what that's
right. So I also show that here at the Find a Store, right here, you can put in like contacts, and it'll bring up all of the stores that you can buy contacts on, like your eye contacts. You know what I'm talking about? All right. So you can keep going, and then you can search by different store names and that sort of thing, and I talk to them about that, okay? The next thing that we do is we talk about the comparative pricing, okay? So what I will do is I will look up a TV, okay, in the search bar, or I go to electronics, and I show them how it can be, different, you can see what kind of televisions, I'm gonna click on TVs, and I can be really picky as to what type I want, okay? And so then it's gonna narrow down the search that way. And then I'll show them the price range here. So this TV in particular, it ranges anywhere from $299.97 to $538.36. And then I click on that and I show them how that looks, okay? And it says sold by 7 stores. So when I click on it, it's going to give you the best deal here first. But then you have the other buying options down here. So let's say that Kmart, and granted, all of these things all these other stores have their own programs, okay, their own cashback programs or their own points and that sort of thing. So let's say that you spend a lot of money at Kmart and you have a lot of points saved up that you know about that shop.com doesn't, okay? So you can apply those points. You just have to figure out which is the best deal for you, okay? Then what we do is I'll show them that this system still works regardless if they're logged in or not.
So basically, in case you don't know, if you're on regular Google and you didn't go into shop.com, because you have the Shop Buddy downloaded, it is going to act the same way, letting you know, identifying the partner stores that we have. If you're looking for a certain item, you can be on Google and not even logged into your shop.com. That's what we're showing them. That, you might have forgot, whatever, but you can still be on Google, and it's going to show you by identifying the S that you see there as a symbol that's next to the information that you're looking for, and that you'll know then that is a partner store, and you simply click on that.
Yep,
to
you
get
click on
started.
it at that point, and once you click on that, Shop Buddy will activate. See, it says activate cash back. It's going to be blinking and all kinds of fun stuff to get my attention, but it makes that connection for you to make sure that you get the cash back.
And that's what's so good, you guys. I mean, it's because it is that personal shopper that's really truly trying to scream at you to save money. And then, you can tell people, listen, you may be at Amazon, no problem. As long as you have the Shop Buddy downloaded and you're still shopping on Amazon, it's going to pop up the same way as long as you have Shop Buddy downloaded, and that's how you know what's happening, is that alert that goes off. So you just click there to save money.
Right there. And then you can also click on this, and it'll also have a drop down of all the coupon codes and what percent. It reminds you what percentage you're saving and that sort of thing. All right. So at this point, I tell them, okay, now you know the basics, how to navigate the site. You just know a little bit about it, a little bit. Now we're going to move up to middle school, so to speak, and we're going to teach you how to navigate the site and where things are. So now we're going to implement go into the mall, okay, and then we're going to go to that partner store. Does that make sense? So we go to the stores tab, okay, again, and then I show them specifically, and I don't inundate them with a bunch of stores, because how many partner stores do we have? 3,500 plus. Okay, there's a lot of different stores, right? But a confused mind does what?
Nothing.
Nothing. So I keep it simple, sister, right? Okay? So I show them box.com, they can get their groceries. Jet.com, they can get their groceries and get cash back. I only show them things they can get cash back on because this is a free customer. Does that make sense? Okay, then I show them 123inkjets.com. Then I show them Raise, and then we stay on Raise for a little bit, okay? So I tell them, this is considered the one-time dip. This is the dipping once, okay? You go from shop.com to the partner store. So to get cash back, you must create, and I tell them this, any place that you go to, any partner store, you have to create an account there, with the same email address that you've registered with shop.com. If you do your personal account, okay, and then you go to a business, like you have a business email or whatever, it's not going to make that connection. Bill Gates was very, very smart when he made this. And so you have to have that email. It tracks your email address. So I reiterate that you have to have the same email address for it to track. Okay? So from there, so now I say, okay, we're going to go to high school now. We're going to learn what you learn, and then we're going to add on to that. So let's add to what you've learned, and we're going to teach you the double dip to get more cash back for that same dollar that you just spent. Okay?
I always say, how many guys like chocolate dipped strawberries, But do you want them dipped once, or dipped twice, or dipped 3 times? You know what I mean? You want an extra, triple, quadruple dip. And so that's where it gets sweeter and sweeter as we add this to the deal.
All right, so I teach them how to go to Raise. All right, then I use it, and I'm just going to give you this, is that you go to the partner store, or I go to Raise, I get a gift card. I get a $100 gift How much did I save? $30, right? On that $70, I receive 2% cash back, which is $1.40. To double dip, I take that gift card and I go to our partner store, which is Torrid. Okay, let's just use that for example. And then I spend my $100 gift card there that I got for $70 there, and then I get cash back on that $100. So all in all, that's a double dip. We did originally spend $70. We got $3.40 cash back. And how much clothing did we get? $100 worth, right? Plus whatever deals and coupons that Shop Buddy brought to our attention. So then I directed them, I said, okay, now you're gonna graduate. We're gonna have you graduate, how exciting, right? So I directed them, I said, look, we're gonna talk about, we're gonna scroll down here to services, and we talk about shop local. And I teach them at that point how to register their credit card to shop local, and I talk to them about that. And I always reiterate that Los Arcos is my favorite spot, and you can get paid cash back for having a margarita. It is possible. So that's what I love. And then I go to Shop Buddy, the services again, and I scroll down to the shop.com Platinum MasterCard. Okay? So I clicked on that shop.com Platinum MasterCard, and I seriously just read what's underneath it. Okay? Earn an extra 3% cash back for every dollar spent on qualified Market America products, and then 1% cash back on everything else. And that is a triple dip. So I use my cashback card, I go to Raise, I get my Raise card, and then I go to that other store. So that's 3 transactions happening, the same dollar, and I'm getting cash back on all of it. Does that make sense? Okay.
And listen, you guys, back on the shop local, just because I know we're wrapping up here, but back on the shop local, you guys, like we teach them how to put their card into the, so that they can actually, already be set up, how they actually do that with their credit card. So that way, again, if we want to increase shop local, we got to teach our customers how to go ahead and put their information in there, so that way we're helping our company really enhance the shop local program. Plus, when they're shopping, we're getting also paid on that benefit too, from the shop local people out there. So just another tip on that.
All right, and so then the next thing I do, when I read that Market America products, they're going to ask, what's Market America products? And so I say, okay, pull that shopping list back out. I want you to flip up and see what products that you're already using that you can transfer to a better product for less and make the most out of your cash back. And I said, remember, we're a product brokerage company. We only deal in multi-billion-dollar industries. And so then I proceed to the slides. Okay, I just continue with the slides and what that says. And as we do the isotonics here, we hand out little shot glasses of samples of aloe and isotonics. And then they realize, man, this is not disgusting. So
and another great thing too, because we all go and help each other at events. It's a good that we've had that conversation with our team members that are going to be that are showing up. That's like, hey, okay, Amy, you're going to be giving out the isotonics to everyone. All right, Andre, you're going to share your testimony. And then, you identify people who have testimonies, and when you're showing the products that we have in our exclusive brand, then, at that point, you're going to want to share the testimonies, and that's when you're working together as a team, and it's a well-oiled machine because people are experiencing the products, they're hearing their testimonies, and once again, it's kind of like you can talk about, you can go to Walmart, and they're a product brokerage company, and they have tires, and they have, where you can get your celery and your milk and your bread and your, you can buy your kids' games. The same thing is here, but also Walmart has great value. And a lot of that's just like the branding, the packaging. We deal in billion-dollar markets, and these are great because you don't know what you don't know. And we're really excited to share this with you because when you shop, you're going to, and you use these products, you're actually going to gain more benefit from it. And that's what we really want to educate you on. So whether you use them or you don't use them, at least you know that when you're out there to look, to identify, because these are the best products. And what's great is that you're going to actually get paid more on it when you do use them.
That's right. So at this point, I go through, and I want you guys to add to your little notes here at the very bottom. During this section, your team is giving testimony on the product they're using because they're a product of the product and they've had success because the products are fantastic. Okay? So, you never do an event alone. Never do it without your team, okay? And you want them to engage. Second thing, you're going to pass out isotonics, the little samples of each so they can taste it. And then this, you're going to book a follow-up. And people ask for, I'm like, oh, well, this is my partner, and we, quadruple dip and 5 times dip, okay? Instead of just the 3, there's other ways to do that. And people are like, what? Say what? Okay? So I have gotten 5 partners off of this type of event because they literally see everything. Okay?
And one of the things we do is that when we do talk about these products at the end, you can bring some of the products that you have for them to see, for them to put their hands on. Again, they're tasting and sampling the products, but then when they actually see it live, they're like, what? And then that's how Emily came into the business. That's how, people can actually, test the products that they're already using, especially with motives, as we grow motives, put motives out there because the product sells itself.
That's right.
And so that's definitely something that...
And 2, another thing I want to add very quickly is that when they see this, they see themselves in these products. They see, I'm using this. They see that they want non-toxic products. They see all of that. So off of that, we have so many people that are interested. Oh, I want to do a motives event. I want to do a skincare event. I want to do this kind of event.
We had one lady, remember, we had one lady at one of our events that she booked a motives, a wellness, and an additional shop.com. So one lady booked 3 events from this event because she was just interested in learning about the product. And so, it was a win-win, right? You guys are laughing because you're like, oh no, right? And so, wait, she's like, it was me. No, I'm just kidding. It was fun. But anyway.
So with this, it ends up, with these slides, it ends up, and it reiterates, this is a product brokerage company, and it's an internet marketing company. We have thousands of product stores and hundreds of exclusive products. And then we have, you get paid to shop, and it's Shop Buddy. And then why shop on shop? And this reiterates again what we just talked about, okay? And then this is some of our partner stores, because we didn't touch but 5, right? But they see, no way. I go to Dick's Sporting Goods all the time. I go to Gator Mountain all the time. I go to Bass Pro Shop all the time, right? And so if you can figure out a way to make cash back on all of this stuff, and this is just another handful, it really starts to click and say, yes.
Hey, another thing we do that has been helpful is on the name tags, is right there, ask them what their favorite store is, because then it's like, what's that about? So then when you go around and then they see that, we can correlate, but sometimes you can maybe pick out if those stores got a little extra time.
Sure,
you can pick out the stores that you know in your mind that have the cash back.
Right.
And you're like, oh, I'm going home and I'm shopping at Bass Pro Shops when I get home.
Exactly, because then it's customizable to the people that you actually have in the room, which is even better. So that's a great point, Nikki. Thank you for having that.
Yeah, if you have the time to do it, what she said is that she puts the name on their name tags, some of their favorite stores, and so then you can, instead of doing those 5 that I talked about, you can kind of customize your event towards your clientele, right? And so then they actually make that connection a little bit better.
We have the guests actually put their favorite place they shop in the traditional shopping area, and then we have the business partners put their favorite product from our exclusive brand. So that's a great point to remember.
Okay.
So bottom line, when it gets down to closing these events, it's so neat because at the end we do say, listen, we're gonna get with you guys right now. We're gonna find out, maybe you have some more questions about. Obviously we ask questions, but when we get down to closing them, we're like, listen, if you really want to know more about how we make additional money at this, or you want to have an event at your home, and all throughout the event, we're like, write this down. If you want to know more about, saving extra money, or you know someone who wants to have a tax deduction, this is a place that we really want to encourage you guys to get them with us, because we'd love to teach them and show them with our expansion that we're doing. And people, like Emily said, they'll put the little star down at the bottom because they want to know more. And then we just tell them, we don't want to forget about you, so make sure you put the star down so we can follow up with you and make sure that we answer any of your questions or get in front of you to show you more.
Yep, that's it.
I mean, and honestly, then you have 100% people who are already your customers with these Shop and Save So, thanks, Emily. So, we're gonna finish up bringing Stacy back up, as she's gonna touch on a little bit of leadership topic, and so y'all welcome Stacy back up here.
Great information. Wasn't that helpful? Yes. Very, very good. Well, I'm excited. One thing I want everybody to know is, and I have it here, that everything that you guys have tonight, that is available on the Facebook page. So you guys can find it. It's under files. You can download that. And then also, Troy and Amy said that they'll be putting things on the Facebook page as far as the products that they talked about tonight, testimonials, and I bet they'll even put the before and after pictures on there too, which would be really good. So, excellent job. All right, well, I'm going to talk about how do you lead your group through the weekly checklist, because the fourth section, if we have time, sometimes we do workshop where you practice the skills that were just taught. This doesn't really require practicing. So the thing we want to go through tonight is leading your organization, some of the leadership skills. I'm just going to take a few minutes. But if you're a guest here tonight, this is our franchising system. It's what we do on a weekly basis. It takes about 10 hours a week, and so you actually know exactly what you need to do. Just like if you're a McDonald's owner, you know exactly what you need to do. You don't just start and be like, oh, I hope this works. You have a blueprint that tells you what you need to do. We do the same thing. And so we actually have this binder. Let's get the binder here. That when you become a franchise owner, you get a binder. And in the binder, it has 52 copies of the weekly checklist, as well as daily checklist that leads to the weekly checklist. So you're doing this, and you're checking it off, and you know when you're done working. But don't you guys think that's important? You're like, okay, I know what I was supposed to be doing, I checked it off, I'm done for the week, which is a really great thing. So with the weekly checklist, I just want to quickly go through to make sure everybody understands the scoring of it. Each category in this is worth 5 points. So if you see the rectangle on the end over here, this is my laser. So you see the rectangle here. Each rectangle should actually have points in the rectangle. So for example, listening to one audio per day. We're working 5 days a week. You don't work 7 days a week. So you either listen to an audio that day or not, with a maximum of 5 points. So if you listen to 3 audios that week, you get a 3 in this rectangle. Does that make sense? If you listen to 5, you get a 5. How about if you listen to 7? How much do you get? 5. Very good. The same with reading, and we have a recommended reading list for your very first year. It's inside your binder. So everything that you need to know there. And then goal statement, 5 times a week, you get a score of 5. Selling 1 product a week to a new customer, a score of 5. In this category, and then shopping from a partner store, that comes along with that. So the only way that you get 5 points in this category is if you sold a product and ordered something from your shop.com yourself, because we're working with internet business volume and business volume at the same time for commissions. But in this category, you can actually get extra credit. The way that you get extra credit is if you did this and you got a 5, you have to do both though to get a 5. If you sold another product to a new customer, and you registered them as a preferred customer, you can get 10 points in that category. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, and then show the plan to 1 personal prospect per week. This is not for your organization. This is if they decide to become an unfranchised owner, that you would actually be the sponsor. Does that make sense? Not for somebody in your organization, but for yourself. Now, in this category, again, you either showed the business plan that week or not, so it's a 0 or a 5, but you can get extra credit. So if you showed 2 personals that week, you could get a 10 in that category. Does that make sense to everyone? And then on the follow-up 1 time a week, either you did it or you didn't, so a 0 to 5, and attend 1 to 2 meetings a week, a 0 or a 5. If you attended 2 meetings that week, it's still only a 5. You don't get 10 points for that category. Does that make sense to everyone? And then you're going to do your positive projections. This is your declarations of where you're going, and that is just checking off. But this here is worth 40 points, or if you got extra credit in those, it can be worth up to 60 points. Does that make sense to everyone? With a maximum of 60, and this is where you write your total points. So you're like, oh great, that's for me. That is for you, but as your organization grows, it's for you managing an organization. Because think about it, if you end up having hundreds of people in your organization, thousands of people in your organization, how do you know how well your organization is doing? What this does is it cuts down the time that it would normally take. So I sat down with Michelle, and we're going through her business, and she says, well, I'm not sure, things are going okay. When I have the weekly checklist, I know how things are going. Does that make sense? I don't have to to sit down with Michelle and be like, okay, how many people did you show? Did you sell any product? I know exactly what's happening, and it helps me to be more effective in managing my organization. Does that make sense? So every single week, she's going to send me this weekly checklist. She takes a picture of it, she sends it to me, and then I can help her to measure, monitor, adjust, and control her organization. Sometimes what I see people do is they get the weekly checklist and they're like, oh great, so they got a 30 this week. What they're not doing is they're not then learning how to coach their organization in their weaknesses. If they got a 30, that means they didn't get a perfect score. That means some area on the weekly checklist, they were not filling out. In fact, they missed 2 areas because you get 40 points. Does that make sense? And so I need to be looking, where are they missing categories? So as a coach, I can help them to get better. Because that's our job as a leader, is to lead our organization. So let's say that every week I'm seeing that somebody's missing the same category. Let's say they're getting a 35, but they're not retailing 3 weeks in a row. Well, as a leader then, I need to be like, okay, what area are we missing, Linda, and how can I help you to get better in this area? Maybe it's retail. Okay, so how are you doing on your names list jogger? Did you have people that you've written down that could be potential customers that you've thought of for certain products? Have you had a wellness 101? How about a shop, sip, and save? What can we do to help you get your retail up to be able to sell products? Because that's part of the weekly checklist in building your business. Does that make sense? And then as a leader, it's kind of like if you can imagine that you are a player on a basketball team. You're the player. Well, everybody in the room is a player when you're very first starting. We want to teach you how to go from being a player to a coach. Because a coach is where residual income comes in. A player is all about you. A coach is how do I manage an organization and help that organization to grow, to be more effective. And so be thinking, okay, I have got one person in my organization. How can I help that person become the very best that they can become and become the very best franchise owner? There's 3 types of unfranchised owners in Market America. If you guys don't know this, make sure you write it down. We have what we call a waiting unfranchised owner. A waiting unfranchised owner is someone that is just enjoying the products. They're not showing up at meetings and they don't have any real goals for it. They just like participating and maybe they got started to get the products at a discounted price. Does that make sense? And then we have a stable unfranchised owner. A stable unfranchised owner is somebody that comes to the meetings, but they maybe just enjoy retailing some product. Maybe they show the business plan every once in a while, but they're not getting a 40 on their weekly checklist. A go-now distributor or unfranchised owner, this is where you want to write the definition. Because we talk about working with go-now unfranchised owners, it's important to know what that is. A go-now unfranchised owner is someone who is consistently, this is the key, is consistently learning, mastering, and implementing. So learning, mastering, and implementing the basic 5 and leading by example. So someone who is consistently learning, mastering, and implementing the basic 5 and leading by example. So as you guys can tell, this weekly checklist, this is the basic 5. It helps us to learn it. It helps us to master it. It helps us to implement it. And it also helps us to lead by example through this. Now, as an unfranchised owner, we only work with go-now unfranchised owners. Very important to know. We're not working with waiting unfranchised owners because they don't need us. Would you guys agree? They're just enjoying the product. Stable unfranchised owners, they're not needing us either. They're just showing up at the meetings, they're enjoying maybe the camaraderie, but they're not really building. The people that need your time are go-now unfranchised owners. And the way that you know if somebody's a go-now unfranchised owner is if they're turning this weekly checklist into you on a weekly basis. If they're not turning this in and they're not doing, a 40 or close to a 40 on their weekly checklist, then they're not a go-now unfranchised owner. That's how you know who you're going to be working with. The other thing that this does is it helps people to know how to get off the bench into the game. Because a lot of times, if somebody's on the bench, as a player, and they don't know what they need to do to improve, it becomes very frustrating. Would you guys agree? But when you as a coach are able to go through this and help them to learn, they know what they need to do to get off the bench to be on the floor, to be able to play the game. So this is just a great great way of managing your organization. It's very time effective, but it's also great in finding strengths and weaknesses and being able to improve the weaknesses and highlight the strengths. Does that make sense? So definitely use this. Make sure you're using it in your organization to build your business. I guarantee you, if people do this, if you do this, and if you're able to coach people through this, you are all going to be able to reach your goals and dreams. There's no doubt about it. There's no six-figure earner in Market America that hasn't done these things. This is how you build your own franchise. So thank you guys for that, and go out and make that happen.
We have to also remember that when we're so hungry, not everybody else is so hungry that she's explaining. So make sure that you're considerate and careful that if you're looking to your people to turn in their points, that you don't beat them over the head, that you don't, expect more from them than they're not willing to give you. And then, because what's going to happen is you're going to cause a division in your group, right? So I've seen this happen where, people will call me up and they're like, I've just told them 1,000 times they did not give me their points. And I'm like, well, they're never going to give you their points if that's how you continue to treat them. So you have to make sure that you set the bar, right? And then the people that are actually turning the points, let them know. Say, listen, I'm telling you, I'm seeing that you're doing this and you're turning, and I want to work with you. And then that's how you're going to pick and choose. But be real careful that if they're not doing that you're real careful not to beat them over the head with it, and that no matter what, you love them where they're at, and that it's okay. Maybe they're just not ready to be that yet. But like Stacy said, they're going to grow into it, and timing changes everything. But relationship, if Stacy's going to beat me over the head with it, I'm not going to probably even show up as much, right? But if she's loving me where I'm at, then I'm going to be, and we've had to all learn this, you know what I mean? I remember being so eager for my people to turn in their points, yet I didn't realize that maybe I was like a little too much for them, and then they weren't ready yet. But when I loved them where they're at and they became ready, then you would see the effort start taking place. That I just felt like you guys need to know that, because I literally just had a conversation with somebody in Arizona, and I just wanted to let you guys know that this is real. Sometimes we want it more from our people than they want it from themselves. But we just have to be real careful as leaders that we don't overpounce. Would you agree on that?
Definitely. That's a really good point. What this really does for you, though, is it also helps you to manage your time, if that makes sense. So if somebody's not turning this in, you also need to realize that that's not going to be an area that you're working in. You don't beat somebody up, but you also don't spend time there working. Does that make sense? It's how you actually decide where are you going to work and where are you going to invest your time. As you're growing and as people are getting started, one thing I want to say about that too is books like How to Win Friends and Influence People are going to really help you to learn how to work with people and how to bring the best out of people. So if you've not read that book, that should be one thing you're reading right away. That's something that changed my life completely. And behind the Bible, truly, it changed my life. And so I really encourage you to check that out, How to Win Friends and Influence People. So great book to read because that'll help you. But it really does help, because then it's like being that coach where if somebody says, I really want your time, then you're just letting them know what it takes to get off the bench to be able to play. The way that you get my time, because again, you're going to be very busy, is you have to be turning your weekly checklist. When you're turning your weekly checklist, then I know where to work and how I can help you. Does that make sense? So if they want my time, then I need to be seeing their checklist. If they don't, no problem. But if they're stable and they're waiting, I don't need their checklist. But if they want my time, that's what it takes to get my time. Does that make sense?
And it also helps you not take credit. I always tell people, I'm not going to take credit for your success, but I'm also not going to take credit for your failure. And a lot of times when you have conversations and people start, they start going into the witness protection program. You're like, where do they go? Where are they at? And then it really boils down to where they're running from you at the grocery store or whatever. You're like, hold on a minute. Don't do that. But the point is that they get upset and they feel bad. So, but the truth is that when you have these checklists, then it's really great, because then you can say, listen, let's just meet up for coffee, and then why don't you just bring me your binder, and let's see how we can help you. And then when you look at their binder, and I say all the time, there's snow blindness, you know what that is? That's nothing going on, there's no appointments, then it's just real easy. Then you are able to go, you know what, maybe what we should look at is what's going on with you. Where can we help you begin to jump off the fence of leap off the fence of indecision to actually get this going again? Let's just start over. let's just start over. Give them permission to be, okay with starting over. Because a lot of us need that. Sometimes you're go nows, and sometimes you were go yesterday, and sometimes you might be go tomorrow. You know what I mean? But we're so only go now. Just don't ever go away, But at the end of the day, you're going to have your ups and downs. We all go through it, But when you really care about someone, when you really show them that you love them and that they're most important to you, they will stay around on your team, period. Because the number one thing that they need to know is that you care. People don't partner with companies, they partner with you. So just remember that. So that was really good, Stacy. All right, so y'all ready for some drawings? As we're here for our final drawings, I know that we have our drum roll. All right, so Andrea, you want to pick? Everybody say pick me, Andrea? Okay, if you know what to do, it's 3, 8, 1, 5, 4, 3, 1. Event to go to, and I'm telling you what, I was negative Nelly, but he called me out on it. It was hilarious, but he is honestly the best, and we love him and Debbie, and she'll be here with them too, so you don't want to miss either one of them.
Yeah, it's
So,
fabulous.